Learn Economy. And today we are going to discuss the nature and scope of macroeconomics. So, coming to the idea of macroeconomics, we could find that macroeconomics would be dealing with the aggregates. So, it's a branch of economics that deals with the aggregate. So, the nature of macroeconomics tells about the structure, performance, behavior, as well as the decision making of economy as a whole. So, this whole element is very, very important to consider because we consider the whole economy here. So we consider what is called the aggregate economic quantity. So to give you some examples, we consider the total output, or we consider what is called the national output, national income, unemployment, GDP, price level, etc. So altogether, we could find that macroeconomics would be aiming to analyze as well as understand the working of economy as a whole. So this totality element is being identified here. Now, moving on to the scope of macroeconomics. Macroeconomics would be studying a lot many aspects. Coming to the first aspect that it would be studying in detail, this is the idea of economic growth. So macroeconomics would study the factors which would be influencing what is called long-term economic growth. We are not focusing on short-term here mostly because we are always identifying the role of what is called sustainable growth, sustainable economic growth. So what happens is that we want to have growth rate today, but that should not be at the cost of the future generation. And whatever decision that we take today would definitely have its implications and effects in the future as well. So we have to deal with intertemporal aspects of decision. So this intertemporal elements with respect to long-term economic growth rate is again something that we study here. And macroeconomics would be examining the changes that would be happening in productivity arena, investment arena, technology, as well as other variables that would be affecting economic growth. Now, apart from this, it would be studying something called business cycle. So it is very, very important to consider something called business cycle. So when we say business cycle, we could understand that the economy moves as a cycle, or on the topmost, or you will be having something called boom. The bottommost point, you will be having something called depression, and in between, you will be having the other two phases. So from boom to depression, this is a period that shows recession. So from boom, the economy will be after some point slowing down, which indicates a period of recession. And once the economy attains depression, doesn't mean that it will be on depression forever. The economy will be taking, or the government will be taking policies for recovery, and this phase is called recovery. So we could find that economy altogether have something called fluctuations. And this is something that would be there over time. And macroeconomics would be studying the causes of booms, recessions, depressions, recoveries, everything. So business cycles would be helping policymakers to develop some strategies so as to stabilize the economy. Again, inflation and deflation. When it comes to inflation, we need to understand that we are talking about sustained increase or rise in prices. And when it comes to deflation, we consider the sustained fall in prices. And here we consider the general price level. So there would be several causes for both inflation and deflation. Also, these would be having certain consequences. All these would be changing the economy, and all these are actually considered when it comes to the scope of macroeconomics, and thus macroeconomics would be studying inflation as well as deflation as well as their impacts in a detailed manner. Now, moving on to another important topic which is being identified in macroeconomics, which is unemployment. So here what happens is that people would be searching for employment and they would also be willing to take up employment, but there won't be job. So these would be happening, but no job would be there. So when it comes to macroeconomics, it would be studying the different causes that would be driving into unemployment, and also it will be learning some consequences of unemployment. There have been very different types of unemployment persisting in our economy, like a frictional unemployment, seasonal unemployment, disguised unemployment, voluntary unemployment, and so on. So macroeconomics would be analyzing all these kinds of unemployment, and it will be dealing with the policies so as to reduce the unemployment rates in the economy, because when there is unemployment, we are not completely utilizing the full potential of our human resources. Now, monetary and fiscal policy. When it comes to the scope of macroeconomics, it will be analyzing the role of both monetary as well as fiscal policy. So monetary policy is something that has been taken by the central bank of an economy, and when it comes to fiscal policy, this has been taken by the central government. So both these would be having some coordination, and both these would be taking different set of tools and instruments so as to manage the economy to reduce the fluctuation, and also this would be influencing the different macroeconomic variables. So which is yet another aspect that we have to consider under macroeconomics. Now, international trade and finance. Definitely, this trade and finance aspect would be impacting the whole economy. So when it comes to trade and finance, many factors would be influencing trade and finance, like the exchange rate, balance of payment, deficit, surplus, as well as its effects. So macroeconomics will be considering every such things here. Now, income distribution. So here we consider how income is being distributing, or it is how it is getting distributed among different segments of the economy. So we do have different segments of the economy. The poor would be there, the rich would be there, and so on. The middle class would be there, and the economy would be consisting of different classes, and the income would get distributed among these different segments. Macroeconomics studies all these kinds of things, and it would definitely study the implications of income inequality and the effect of the same on economic growth as well as welfare. So we can find that the scope of macroeconomics is something that is very broad, because we consider several themes here, several topics, several subjects here, and it will be encompassing a wide range of issues which would be affecting the functioning of the economy as a whole. So we can have some valuable insights. Even policymakers can get some valuable insights from looking onto certain indicators of macroeconomy, and they will be using these indicators so as to use it in the form of policies, or by using these indicators, they would be framing policies to attain what is called price stability, full employment, and overall prosperity. So that is it. Thank you for watching. You can like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more videos. You can also join our free Telegram community. I'll be providing the link of the same in the description box. Also, if you're preparing for any of the competitive examinations in economics, you can make use of Learn Economy app, from where you can download free weekly test. You will be getting previous year question papers and study materials. I'll be providing the link of the same in the description box. That's it. Thank you.